It's your man DJ Seko, part of the Fly Guy, with my bad and bougie partner, Miss Sheena Boston.
Hello.
How you doing today, Sheena?
I'm very good, very good.
All right, so you're back.
Relax.
You're back again from some hot yoga, right?
Yes, yes.
Was it hot this time? I know it was warm last time.
No, it was warm still, but we're working up to it. You work up to it.
Working up. I'm not rushing you. I'm not rushing you. And we have with us on the line today, Demitri and Heather Wilson. And oh man, they're a great couple. I DJ'd their wedding reception, and I tell you what, I've really just fallen in love with their marriage, with their movement, and with their business. So I want to say salute to the two of them, and welcome to the Fly Guy Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Okay. So let's do the cute stuff first. How long have you been married? How long did you date? Blah blah blah. Very quickly.
You're gonna put me on the spot just like that. Say,
yes, sir.
Right in the beginning, you're gonna put me on blast. Wow. Got it. I'm gonna let Heather get all of my new details.
I'm gonna refer that to you. It's on the inside of your ring.
November 17th. 10 years.
10 years this November.
10 years this November.
Wow. And how long did you know each other? Because, I used to work with Heather, and as soon as she started at Family Systems, all the guys are like, oh, snap, you see that? She was the hottest chick in the game, man. So how long did you date before you got married?
I only started from the day we got married.
About 2.5 years. About 2.5 years.
About 2.5 years? That's dangerous to say I only start the day we got married. That's real dangerous.
I mean, that's as far as my memory goes. Back that far. Yeah.
All right, so we have a cute couple, but more importantly, we have a really strong mission you were involved in. So tell us about your business. On the Fly Guy podcast, we talk about uplift, but we also talk about the business aspect of things. And we're also going to ask you about the ROI. We want to make sure there's a return on investment so that the listener will be a better person after listening to this podcast. So tell us about your business.
Okay. So I can't tell you about my business without telling you the story behind it.
Okay.
So, do you mind if I start there?
Let's go.
Okay. So 7 years ago, 6.5 years ago, I was pregnant with our daughter. It was our first child together. We have a 20-year-old, but our first child together. So we were pregnant with Kennedy. And unfortunately, Kennedy passed away. She was stillborn. She was born in August, 7 years ago. And at that point, we were planning for her future and unfortunately having to plan for her funeral. So I was in the hospital, and my hubby and my mom were taking care of most of the funeral arrangements. And at that time, because she was so small, she was full term, of course, but she was so small that there was nothing to fit her. And that just has always stuck with me. I've always had a desire for fashion. I love the fashion industry. I went to school for fashion, and I can sew off-site. And so that kind of developed our business. So what we do is we make angel gowns, which are burial gowns and burial attire for babies that are stillborn or babies that pass away shortly before or after birth. And we make them from donated wedding dresses.
Wow. You said a lot in such a short time. Demitri, what was it like to find out that you were having a child that was stillborn? Did you know in advance?
Yeah, we went to the hospital together. I think I was working at the fire station. I was working at the fire station, and she called me the night before and said she wasn't feeling movement from the baby, which she normally does, especially at that particular time of the night. Because she actually, Kennedy kicked a lot. Mm-hmm. But of course, I'm like, it's okay. I mean, she's probably just having a little downtime. It'll be out in the morning when I come home. we'll run up to the hospital just to make sure. And then at that time, I'm thinking everything's fine. Just go to the hospital just to ease her mind. There was no thought at all that anything was wrong on my end. So when I did come home that morning, gather together, you know what? I think I even did something outside. To me, there was never any doubt that anything was wrong with her. So got her ready. She called the hospital. We went up to Lee again. And once we got there, that's when we heard the most, I think is probably the most tragic news I think I've ever heard in my lifetime. That there was no heartbeat. That's the worst words you ever want to hear as a person is no heartbeat. So from that point on, things just kind of
went in slow motion.
Very slow motion.
Because you just don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect as far as having a baby, let alone at this point the nurses and doctors are telling me you have to deliver this baby.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just one of those things that just we didn't know what to expect or what to do.
Awkward. I mean, your wife got to deliver a baby. I mean, you had to go through the entire process of having a child because she was full term and she had to actually give birth. So
it was over 24 hours of labor. It wasn't quick. It was not quick. So family members too, they were just as anxious. That waiting period of, oh my gosh, this is enough. I've not been through enough. We're still waiting for the baby. So it was a lot.
Did you share with your family that the child was going to be stillborn? Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were at the hospital?
Everyone knew and everyone came to the hospital to support. And even after she was born, everyone, we put clothes on her. And everyone held her, and honestly, she just looked like she was sleeping. It was just like, it was a silence in the room, but it was peaceful to look at her and hold her.
It was. For that time, I know when she gave birth and I held her, obviously she was dead, but at no point during that time that I was in the hospital, those times that I would hold her, there was actually excitement when they would go get her for me to hold her. Because there was a sense of calm that she was there. She was just asleep. I mean, it's something I can't really describe, but that moment that I was in the hospital that day or 2 days that we were in the hospital, we were able to get the baby. At all. She just was asleep in my arms. Very peaceful and calm.
Wow. How does an experience like this impact your faith?
So what I found in going through this journey is it strengthens your faith or it pulls you away. In our case, it strengthened our faith. Her funeral was on a Saturday, and Sunday morning I got the whole household, because all relatives from Rhode Island were in town. I got everyone up and I said, we're going to church. And so less than 24 hours after burying her, we all went to church as a family. And that's been the strength, is leaning on God to get us through, because there's nothing else that can get you through burying your child. So early on, that was just one of the things that we made a point to put first, and to walk in faith, that we don't know. I think it was my pastor said at the funeral, we don't know what was in store for Kennedy, what kind of life she had. And of course, I was a zombie at the funeral, but a lot of people had brought up the point that he had mentioned, and it made a lot of sense afterwards. He said, you know what was in store for her, and you don't know why, and you can't question the why, but you may find out one day and you may not. And 7 years later, I may not know the whole why, but I know that I'm here and my husband's here to help other people, and that her legacy and her life lives on for sure.
Wow. Wow. And you go from that painful experience to building a business.
Now, it took a long time. it took a lot of grieving. It took a lot of counseling. It took us, well, me personally, I really, really took it really hard, and I struggled with depression, and I've never had depression before, ever.
Was it
what they, it
was it postpartum depression, or was it depression?
Actually, it actually wasn't. I was in a weird zone of, sorry, that's my phone. I was in a weird zone of make sure everybody else is okay during that time, that I didn't grieve myself. I pretty much was in the zone and not really thinking about what was going on. And so I think that I hid all of those feelings deep down, and they caught up with me and slapped me real hard in the face about 6 months and said, you better deal with this. And so I can't say it was postpartum depression. What the doctors said was it was more of a situational depression. So I mean, not getting on the couch. I mean, he as a husband, I don't know how he got through watching me go through that, because I didn't like myself going through that phase. It was hard. So I think I needed to go through it to take this journey and to be able to comfort and help other moms, other dads, other families who have been through it.
Wow. And I'm still just blown away that there was a business in this situation.
Right. Absolutely.
So over years, over counseling, did the business develop as a part of your healing?
It did. It was, every time I kept saying, I just don't want them to forget her name. I just don't want them to forget Kennedy. I want everyone to know that she existed. And it was always trying to find a way to have her remembered, but it wasn't until this August that the business developed. And when I said it out of my mouth, I mean, my husband like instantly looked at me and he was like, that's perfect. And from there, the blessings, I mean, I just can't even, everything that I pictured, I just thought, oh, I'd be making a couple of dresses. But God has made this bigger than we ever could have imagined, honestly.
All right. So let's talk about the business. You help families who are bereaved, who are going through similar situations, by providing them with some tangible items. And those are the gowns. And do the boys wear the gowns as well?
The boys, they can wear gowns. We have like the kimono style gown, but we also do the like a small little tuck in as well. So it kind of, what I like to do is present the mom and let her pick her own outfit for her baby. So I present them with whatever they would like.
Okay. Okay. And how do the families pay for it?
They don't.
Well, they don't. It's free.
No cost. It's free. It's honestly given from the heart.
Yep.
We truly understand what they've been through, and we understand what they're going through, and just that little blessing, and although small, it's a lot of meaning behind it.
And it's a time of crisis. The last thing you want to do is go to the store and be frustrated about the sizes of the clothes. I mean, if you're already going through the crisis of bearing a child, the last thing you want to do is go rack to rack and realize there is nothing that's going to fit my tiny little angel. I
personally remember going through that, because when Kennedy passed away, obviously Heather was in the hospital, so me and her mother were making arrangements, the funeral arrangements, things like that. And it was tough. From that level, I truly understand how tough that can be, to try and find an outfit for your child that you never even spoke a word to, but you have to buy an outfit for it to be buried in. So never will we ever charge.
Never. Wow. So did you have to purchase the angel gown that Kennedy crossed in?
My mom purchased, she went to a store and she purchased a white dress, and it was swimming on her. It didn't fit, but it was the best she could do. at the time. And that's what stuck with me is, of course, I wanted her to be, to cross over and something that was beautiful as she was. And I couldn't do that. We couldn't provide that. And so now we have the opportunity to provide it to other families.
Wow. I'm going to share the screen and check out your website while we're continuing the talk. Sheena, how is this? What do you think? This is a very touching business.
I know. It has touched me personally, but not directly. I have a very dear friend that lost her twin, and so I remembered the anguish and being a supporting friend. I wasn't burying them, but they were my godchildren, and it was a similar situation where they were fine, and suddenly she stopped having feelings. She stopped feeling them moving, and her experience was a little bit different. She actually did not want to see them, and they made her look at him. They made her. And so it is a wonderful blessing to hear a family that got to have their wishes respected in the hospital. And to hear that you're helping families, because if you don't have family around you at that situation, at that time, it's very hard.
Right, it is. And even as a friend for you, it's difficult for you to know the right words. It's difficult for you to know what to say, or it's just hard for everyone. It wasn't easy for anyone.
Interesting. What has been the response from your clients, your customers, to your service?
Overwhelmingly, most of the time I would say we talk to the family members, and not directly because the family's still grieving. But when we have talked to the moms afterwards, they're extremely thankful. There's been one dad where the mom was just really having a very difficult time, that we helped pay for funeral services and helped him find a pastor. And he was just beyond thankful. I mean, he wanted to repay us in any way we could, and we couldn't believe that there was service around was doing that.
Wow. Let's talk about the numbers, the money.
Okay.
Because, it takes resources to run a business and to run a ministry. Basically your body needs blood for it to run. You needs air, so it needs resources. So how do you raise the resources to provide your service?
So we have a minimum of 2 events a year. And the 2 big events we have are the Angel Ball. The Angel Ball is always in April. The significance of April is that is also Awareness Week for infertility.
Oh, okay.
I do encompass everybody that's dealing with either the loss of a child or infertility. And then we also have a 5K. The 5K is on October 15th. That date's significant because that's the date of pregnancy awareness loss. That's October 15th. So
there's a pregnancy loss awareness date?
There is. Yeah, and there's a ribbon. There's a ribbon for everything lately, but that ribbon is pink and blue.
So this must really impact a lot of families.
Yes, as far as miscarriage and infant loss, it's 1 out of every 4 women. But it's a topic. No one talks about it. So that's a big part of our mission, is to bring awareness to it so that people do feel comfortable saying, you know what, my child passed away and I'm sad. And that's okay to say. You don't have to bottle the grief and feel like you can't talk about it. I think it's important to recognize these babies because they were here.
I just need to let that marinate. 1 in 4 families, women, have either a miscarriage or a stillbirth.
Right, 1 in 4. 1 in 4. And before this happened to me, I didn't know anyone. And then I went through the experience, and as you talk, you really do realize it's touched someone who knows somebody who knows someone, it's touched. It's that significant. It happens that often.
Wow. Wow. Actually, we had someone on the Fly Guy podcast last week who had gone through a similar situation. And interestingly enough, as I was preparing today at work for this podcast, we were talking about Mother's Day. And one of my coworkers mentioned that she had a miscarriage and how challenging Mother's Day is for her.
Right.
How challenging is Mother's Day and Father's Day for you two?
It's become not my favorite holiday. I like to celebrate the women in my family, I like to celebrate them, but it has a different meaning now, honestly. It's not, it makes me, it's a constant reminder that my baby's is not here. And it has become a difficult holiday for me. And I do fine on her birthday, but Christmas and Mother's Day, it hits me hard.
Wow. Wow.
On her birthday, but it's something about she's the first, my firstborn, the first baby in my womb, and more than I realize.
How can people support your movement?
There's a lot of ways. We need, I always like to say this first, we need seamstress. At this rate, we're sending about 2 gowns out a week, which I never thought that would happen. That's because we send them wherever they need to go. We'll overnight them. We actually got a call this morning for a baby in Missouri. So seamstress to help me to have, because the babies, we never know how big or small or the sex of the baby. So we need gowns on hand to give to the families that need them. Financially, this is a business and it takes money to run it. When families come to us and they have no money to bury their child, I want to be able to say yes every time, which is what we've done if it meant coming out of our own pockets. That's what we've done because we've just had our first fundraiser. So prior to that, everything was just my husband and I making sure that it happened. So financially, if we make a donation, we are 1C3, so it is tax deductible. Support us when we have events. We do have the 2 large events, but there will be smaller events that we'll have as well. Donating your wedding dresses. We don't only take wedding dresses, we take bridesmaids dresses as well. Bridesmaids dresses make great tucks for the little boys, the vests and the ties. So volunteers, we'll need volunteers at the race. We need volunteers at the night when we have the ball. Just genuine support. Your prayers help us because the journey is real. And we can't say that when we watch a family go through what we went through, that we don't go back to that place. So prayers are welcome as well.
I'm on your Facebook page and I'm looking at a picture with a group of women and they're all smiling, they're all beautiful, and they're holding, I guess, angel gowns, and they're holding scraps of clothing. Are these the women who donate their time to make the gowns?
This is one of 2 groups of women. There's 2 groups of women that I sew with, and that's one group. And then there's another group that meets on Mondays. And absolutely, if anyone is interested in coming with our group, even if you have very, very beginner skills with sewing, there's older women in the group that will help you become a phenomenal seamstress and will lead you in the right direction. So we meet every 2nd and 4th Saturday. And that's an option as well. You can contact me for details. You can either reach me on Facebook, you can reach me on Instagram, my cell phone number, or email address, which is heather@kennedysangelgowns.org.
Wow. The icon that's on your website, and that's also your profile picture on Facebook, it seems to be a woman holding a child in a very big, flowery gown.
Yes. And that's actually me. And I'm holding our daughter Riley, our rainbow baby. And for the viewers that don't know what a rainbow baby is, a rainbow baby is a baby that you have after a miscarriage or a stillborn child. And it's referred to as a rainbow baby because it's kind of like after you go through the storm, not to say that my child was a storm, because my child was not a storm, but the pain and agony we went through can be described as a storm. After you go through the storm, there was a rainbow, and that rainbow was Riley. And so what we did was we took the actual picture of Riley and I, and we had a graphic designer to add wings to it. And I couldn't think of a more perfect picture to kind of encompass everything that we do, because the gown she has on is beautiful. That color of pure white is just angelic, and I love it. I love our logo. I love that it's us and it represents us and what we do.
Okay, and I'm on your webpage, and I see the opportunity to volunteer, to donate, and to donate my gown. Beautiful picture of you. I'm assuming that was you, right?
Yes. That was
it. Okay. And then in the middle, there's a picture of you holding a gown. Do you happen to have a gown handy that you can show the YouTube viewers?
Always. We keep them at the house. We keep some in storage, but we keep some at the house because we never know when we'll get a phone call. So I'd like to show you a couple, actually.
Okay. As you pull them out, Demitri, how many gowns have you sewn? Or is your support making sure that you don't mess up stuff?
Give me a second. Give me a second to think about it. One, two, none.
Okay. That's called quality control, correct?
I just check them over and say, yeah, they're God, they're angel worthy.
Yes.
I don't want. Listen, it's a tough time, and I'd hate to be the person that received the gown that I sold. It would have to give that back. How would that look? We appreciate it, but no, I'm not burying my child in that. So I'll stay in my lane.
So this one is amazing. The reason this is amazing is this is one of the only, well, let me start by saying one average sized wedding gown makes 11 angel gowns. So this gown is from the 1930s. It's from Bergdorf Goodman, and it's 100% silk. So we don't have a lot of gowns that are 100% silk. And it is kind of, it's old, so it's yellowed a little bit, but I think that's what makes it kind of antique and beautiful. And we also make bonnets to match the gowns. And then
you called it Bird Dog. Is that a designer?
Bergdorf Goodman is a designer. Yes, it's a store in New York. It's a very famous store that's been around for years, and it was the place to go in the 1930s. If you had money, you would go into Bergdorf. So, and we do preemie gowns as well for our little ones.
Wow.
The kimono style for the little boys.
All right. Okay. Good. Nice and masculine. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like the romper.
No.
That will not be in the design.
Understood. And salute to the brothers who do wear rompers. I'm just not that type. All right. So we have I guess you're not either.
Not at all.
We also make pockets for babies that are under a pound. And those babies are called micro preemies. And micro preemies are extremely small, like I said, under a pound, and they can't fit in a gown. So we make pockets. I can show some of those as well.
Wow. What do you think of the handiwork, Sheena?
I can't see it right at this moment, but I think that is a beautiful work that she is doing to help families, and just a small thing, that is easing their mind and it helps, you know, the family feel better during the funeral process.
You hold that
Wow. Wow. Did you want to drop one of your insightful thoughts while there's continuing to show these? That's beautiful.
I would just love to applaud them because it takes a lot of strength to take a moment of suffering and not only turn it to a moment of healing for themselves, but they've turned it into a moment of healing for others so that it expands out. And I just want to applaud them because I'm over here trying not to cry. And I'm not a crier.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
When Miss Bad and Bougie says good things, I know you're doing good things.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So you told us how you can help the business, donate time, volunteer, donate your gown. But I understand that you may also be moving into some other comprehensive strategies to support bereaved parents. What are some of those things that are on your future?
So, of course, I can't say it without smiling. We had the ball, and it was a fundraiser, and we raised money.
Right. You had the best DJ in the world. Salute that.
Definitely.
World's greatest DJ was on the ones and twos. We raised enough money for a Cuddle cot, and a Cuddle cot is a cooling system, and it helps for the body not to break down as fast. Cuddle cots are out of.
Wow. Cuddle cot. I've just never heard that term before. So for people like me who just had a moment of being frozen and trying to understand what a cuddle cot is, can you give it to me one more time?
Sure. So Cuddle cots is a cooling system. They're made in Australia, and they're in a lot of hospitals, just not in Hampton Roads. So a goal of mine is to bring them to all of the hospitals in Hampton Roads. They cost around $3,000, and they're a cooling system that slows down the body from doing naturally what it's supposed to do, decomposing. And it allows for the family to have more time with their loved one.
And so your mission is to put a cuddle cot in every hospital.
Roads, if not a couple of them in each hospital, because if there are two babies, only one family can use it at a time. So as many as we can get. And so we raised enough money that night with the help of all of our amazing sponsors. We were able to raise enough money that night, and we're having the 5K. And I just know that we're going to have 2 Cuddle cots this year in 2017, if not 3.
Wow. So if you had a cuddle cot when Kennedy crossed, how much longer would you have had to spend with her?
Well, from its basic level, obviously, with Kennedy not being alive, when we wanted to hold her, they had to go pretty much get her from the morgue, which she's in refrigeration because, I mean, the bottom line is she's dead. So, and just like any other dead body, they have to go to the morgue and be put in refrigeration.
You have to wait.
So you have to wait for that process for them to go get her and bring them back to you, which could take a long time.
Right.
And that cut into your time with her. As I said before, when I was holding it, felt like she was alive. I mean, she was just sleeping peacefully in my arms. So having that cuddle cot, it brings that refrigeration unit within the room. It's in the room with you, so the baby essentially could be in that room the entire time. If you chose to have that, she could be in that room for that whole time in the cuddle cot, which keeps the body at a certain temperature so she doesn't start decomposing. You just pull out when you want, and hold your baby.
And according to the website, about 5 days.
Wow.
Which is great because by 5 days you would be home anyways. So
most of the time it's 48 hours.
48 hours you'd be home. But and it sounds morbid, and I think unless you've been through it, you just it's not. I've never touched anyone that's crossed over before, so this was my first experience, and I thought that I would be really afraid, as I was with others, but I wasn't. It was a sense of peace, and at the end of the day, one thing one of the social workers that was there reminded me of was that when you leave, you're not going to leave with your baby in your arms. So right now, this time that you have, just really take a second to take it in. And I'm glad that I was able to do that. And that it really resonated when I was being discharged and they were rolling me out on the wheelchair. And it was another young lady that was being rolled out at the same time. And we were at the curb and I looked over and she was holding her baby. And I was holding back tears. I mean, that's when it really resonated that I was going home without my baby. And in my house was this full, complete nursery. All of these hopes and dreams that we had, and we weren't going home with our baby. So if we can give that opportunity of the cuddle cot for someone to spend a little bit more time, then that's what we're going to do.
Okay. Wow. That's such a strong mission. That's such a strong mission. That's such a strong mission. I'm glad we got a chance to go over the opportunities where people can sow into your mission, into your field of dreams. And I'm glad to know that there are organizations and businesses like yours to support these women. I'm still blown away by the fact that 1 in 4 women are impacted. And as I looked around in my head, I realized that I identified 3 women that I know.
Right.
That have been impacted in this manner.
Absolutely. Yep.
Are there support systems for women and families and fathers after they've dealt with this type of experience?
So there's perinatal counselors, and we have those resources. Those will be uploaded by the end of the week. We've connected with, we had the perinatal counselor that we worked with. She just retired, and we actually honored her at the Angel Ball, Ann Prescott, who was amazing. She's been in the business for 30 years. She only works with those who have lost children. So to have someone to really connect with and understand that loss, it's a loss like no other when it's your child, is important. And we've been searching for someone else. And of course, who else but her daughter? So Ann's daughter has taken where she's left off, and she is going to do the work. So we just got her bio and her information. We'll have that on the website by the end of the week. So those that need those services, there's a connection right here in Hampton Roads, and she'll be just as amazing as her mother because she's watched her mother for 30 years do this. So Ashe. Wow. Well, we always want to make sure there's a return on investment. And the return that I've gotten is that there 1 in 4 women are going to be impacted. Right. The second thing I've gotten is that we shouldn't be ashamed of this happening, and we need to make sure that our families get the support that they need. What other things would you like to leave? We have about 30 seconds before we get out of here. Is there anything else that needs to be an ROI for our listeners? Just that, just being a support, and being a support to us, being a support to anyone that you know that is going through this, and that any way that you all can help us to continue this journey. If you've been touched by our story, please read our story further on the website and make a donation so that we can help. All right. Kennedy'sAngelGowns.org. Yep. You're on Facebook, on IG as well? We're on Instagram. Yep. Okay.